James, two defenders on him to Caldwell Pope inside. He's tied up by Green. Throws it back up top. James puts up the three. Oh, it's gone! LeBron James from downtown as the shot clock expires.
Adore you and want you so. I'm just a no one with nothing to give you but all.
What's up, everybody? Yes. Oh man, we are back. What a weekend of basketball excitement.
Is this a trick question?
This is crazy, man. This is crazy. You're back with the Pro Set, man. It's your boy NBY the Nerd, episode 4.
No.
Awful execution.
Oh man, no more Curry.
It's weird all the way around.
No more Curry. You see the title of the show today. No more Curry, man. I'm sad today. I'm sad today because one of the most exciting players in the NBA is gone. And it's because of this play-in, man. It's because of what we talked about in episode 2, man. It's crazy that what we talked about back then is, not even, I guess a couple of weeks later it's come to fruition. So, sad about it. But, at least we had some exciting basketball over this past week, man, since we last did the show. So today we're going to be talking all about the NBA. We're going to be talking about the play-in that happened at the end of the week last week, as well as the NBA playoffs that just jump-started over the weekend. Man, we had some very, very exciting games. I'm excited to talk about it today. I actually have a special guest that's coming in. My man Theo out of Orlando, Florida, is going to help me out today on the show. So we're excited to have him come on and talk with us on the show about the play-in today, man. But we're going to get right into it after this quick clip.
Golf season begins for the two-time MVP.
Hey, Steph, how are you digesting the way this season ended?
I have no idea. This is very unfamiliar territory, obviously, with the play-in, and I was not, this being the end of the season. Excuse me. Very tough way to end it with these last two games coming down to the wire and us giving it everything we had in the tank. Proud of every single person in the Oakland uniform tonight, all season. From 15 wins last year, injuries and all that, to what we made out of this year. It's pretty damn impressive. It's a very tough way to go out, and we would love to be playing on Sunday. But you can't lose sight of the big picture in terms of where people had us at the beginning of the season, what we were dealt with injuries and youth and inexperience, lineup changes all year, and we're 2 fourth quarters away from being a 7 or 8 seed, so it's weird all the way around. But we had a good little session in the locker room after the game where everybody's sick to their stomach, disappointed and frustrated that this is the end. This is how you're going out, but it's okay to pat yourself on the back for doing something that really nobody thought we could do. So I don't think there's any what's that terminology, moral victories, but this is it's weird because we're not used to this, but we're definitely proud of ourselves.
All right, and we're back here, man. I'm going to bring a guest in right now for this next segment. We're going to talk about the NBA play-in that happened last week, man. That thing was crazy. There's no way that I could talk about that just on my own, so I had to get another opinion. I got a friend of mine named Theodore from Orlando, Florida, checking in. What's up, Theodore? Welcome to the Pro Set.
what's going on? I've been watching the past few episodes, and I was mad I wasn't first picked to be on the first episode, but it's fine. It's cool. I'm here now. I'm here when it matters. Talking about NBA strictly.
Absolutely, man. I had to bring you in. You're right. You've been there from the get-go when I was even in the process of coming up with this thing. But, I wanted to see if I could do it on my own first and then bring in the guests. So now we're ready. Episode 4. This is a great episode about the NBA, man. I know you love the NBA. We've had many discussions about the NBA. So, first of all, let me get your opinion on what happened in the play-in, man. First of all, let's start with the Eastern Conference. What did you think about that situation?
Well, in the Eastern Conference, when it's the lowest of the barrel, it's the 10th, the 9th seed, the 8th and 7th. No one really cares about those guys, especially in the East. All 4 of those teams, I believe, was below 500 overall anyway. Right, but with this playing the tournament, it really gives us that that every game matters. So we just can't we just can't just go in for draft picks now. We can still fight even though our record sucks. So with these last playing games in the East, it really brought a lot of excitement, at least for me. Especially starting with the Hornets and Pacers. That each game really speaks about where a team is going or heading. For instance, like the Hornets. Now, they came in, I expected them to do better, but then it hit me. No experience. All these players are young, and they want a person like Terry Rozier and one of the Ball brothers to lead that team to the playoffs. There was no fight. It just showed that they wasn't ready to be in the limelight. So the Pacers they ate them up from the beginning.
Right.
So it shows one team with no experience, but the second team, they have experience being knocked out in the first round, right? But they had one of their best games, 144 points. I think that's the highest they had all season.
Yeah.
Right? Even with the injuries that they had from T.J. Warren. Who else? Miles Turner, so huge contract people like that, and they still spanked them. They spanked the Hornets. It was really like a father and son team. So that was one of the games that really thanked me for that this playing tournament.
Yeah, and my perspective on that game was like, okay, this is what we're really gonna get. Like, if we really wanted to see what the play-in tournament would be, this is our example. This is what it's going to be. It's not going to be what we think it's going to be. It's going to be the bottom 4 tier teams. They're probably going to be crappy teams, and there's going to be no urgency on one side, and another team's going to feel like they deserve to be in, so they play harder, so you get a blowout. And so that's not fun. That's not fun. It's not fun to watch a blowout. Yes, I get what you're saying. Listen, you are being very nice to this game. That game was trash, bro. That was a trash game. I expected so much more from the Hornets. I expected it to be a very evenly fought game, seeing that their records are so close. And the experience, I get it, but at this point, you're talking about, I would kind of give the experience to the Hornets in this situation, because we're talking about a tournament style. Well, the Ball brother and, a lot of the young players that are playing on Charlotte come from tournament play in the NCAA, in high school, or wherever, overseas is tournament play. So the Pacers, they know about series play. They don't really know about one and done. So I was thinking that the Hornets would be better, ready for that type of situation, but it turned out to be the reverse. And then it wasn't even a game, man. 144 points. Bro, that is ridiculous. That's a lot of points. So
it is, yeah. That's too much points. But it just shows it's that experience. Like the Pacers, they fought hard series, like a hard series before. Like they know how to grind it out. Like to get that low seed, and to even make a little bit of noise in the playoffs. But the Hornets. When's the last time someone ever cared about the Hornets? When's the last time someone, like I went to the last live game, a TV game,
right?
So all that coming together. Of course, they expected to do better, but I saw it as this is what was exactly what's going to happen. You're going to have a taste of what a playoff scene feels like, and then you're going to be ready next year. But I think the only veteran they had was Terry that actually made it to the playoffs and make it past the first round. So him leading, I wouldn't put my trust in Terry to lead the squad. So of course, no one knew how to handle the situation, and it shows in the score.
I agree with you on that, but I still say that it was a real bummer.
Oh yeah, I mean. At the end of the first quarter, yeah, it was done. It was a wrap.
Yeah. After watching that, I'm sure many people were upset about this whole play-in. They were like, okay, this is what we're gonna get, and then let's jump to the next game. Speaking of Terry Rozier, his old team, the Boston Celtics, played the Washington Wizards with Bradley Beal, even though he was coming off an injury, and you have Russell Westbrook. And this game I thought would have been way more entertaining, but as you can see, it did not turn out to be what we wanted. And then we had the whole debacle in the end. Tell me what you thought about that.
I texted you before saying that while the game was on, that the Wizards was going to win. Celtics not having their Robin to back man. Who was it? What's his name that got injured? He injured his wrist.
Jaylen, was it Jaylen Brown?
Yeah, Jaylen Brown.
Yeah, Jaylen Brown.
Him not being here, and like the whole load is on Tatum. I didn't think he was going to score 50 points on the Wizards, but I really thought with the power of Bradley Beal and Russell Westbrook, I thought that they was going to murder the Celtics. At least put up a bigger match, but they just never showed up. Mr. triple double holder. Russell Westbrook, where was he at the whole game? He's known for chucking up shots, but we didn't see the same Russell Westbrook that we saw all season. So that did not help the team at all. And of course, what I hated most was the game wasn't over yet. In the NBA, if you're down 12 points, you can easily make that up in 2 minutes. But I believe within 6 minutes left, he walked off the court. That's not what a match player do.
Right.
He walks off. He was we all know he had a horrible game, right? But you're not out of the playing tournament, right? So him walking off, that to me buries a bad look in my eyes with Westbrook.
Yeah, and that's what I was thinking. I was really disappointed when I saw that. I was like, is this what we doing now? I mean, 6 minutes left in the game, you walking off. They said he was limping or something. They were trying to cover it up like it was some sort of injury. And I'm like, no way. This is this guy right here being upset about being losing. This is a sore loser mentality. And this is one of the reasons why I've never really been a Westbrook fan. I'm not a fan of him as a basketball player. I'm definitely not a fan of his shoes, that weirdness that he puts out.
Shoes?
Yeah.
Okay. I forgot that he even had a shoe out, to be honest with you.
Right. Yeah. So it's a Jordan, and I don't know if it's one of the better selling Jordans, but I don't like them. So it's just the fact that I don't know, man. The guy's a talented basketball player, but he just has too many attitude issues, and I can't trust him. I can't trust him down the stretch. He hasn't really proven himself to be a leader in the playoffs. Yeah, you can score a lot of points, you could get triple doubles and all of that, but if it doesn't translate to wins and playoff wins, then what is it worth? So that was crazy. And then my biggest issue was he was doing all of this knowing that he was going to get another opportunity to play for the AFC. Yes, you lost the 7th seed. be a big man about it. Go play for your eighth seed.
Right.
And so, you know, when they jumped,
which he did, and it happened. He had a better game, and you know, and they won that next game. You know, so
right. Yeah, they took the Pacers down. Everybody was actually picking the Pacers to win that game.
I was.
But right. So the Pacers come in. I really was indifferent about who would win. Because I really couldn't take the Pacers' last game serious. Because 144 points. I don't know if that's gonna happen again. But the way the Wizards played, I would have definitely probably picked against them. But they win the game, and now they're the 8th seed. So. Well, this guy gets his accolades. He goes out there. He dominates the Pacers. He looks unstoppable. And now we're back on Westbrook. Everybody's talking about how great of a player he is. This is the.
I'm not.
But this is what I'm saying. This is the craziness of the media with this guy, man. He's like getting whipped one day and praised the next. I really don't like it. I'm really kind of disappointed that he even made the playoffs, because now I got to keep hearing this mess. I would have rather him just sat home, but they made it, so congratulations to them. But to me, the Eastern Conference play-in tournament is a really a downer, as far as if we really looking at this as something that's viable for the NBA. But on the other hand, the West was amazing to me.
Yes.
To me, I don't know. What do you think about the West play-in?
I mean, like, the West games are always better than the Eastern games. Let's just put that out there. But these games was a lot more competitive. It did seem like it meant a lot more to these teams, right? Because at least in the West, like, all these games was close. Like between the 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, like all these games was within like a half a game. Right, yeah, so correct. At one point, you was playing in the playing tournament, and then the next day, you're in the 6th seed, watching them play. So all these teams didn't have to be there, So I'm liking how to play in tournaments. Like it's giving teams a chance, a fighting chance, And in this case, Memphis took full advantage of it.
Yes, and the great thing about this is that Memphis got a chance to take full advantage of it. It worked exactly how the NBA wanted it to work, but at the same time, I think it was a detriment. Although, yes, it was very entertaining seeing LeBron have to play Steph Curry to get that 7th seed, but let's be real, man. How often are the Warriors and the Lakers going to be that low of a seed with LeBron James and Steph Curry playing for them? Come on, that's not going to happen that often. To have those big of a stars playing in this game, in this play-in, that's not going to happen that often. It's going to be more so like what we see in the East. These no-name teams with barely any star support playing each other. So the West gave us something that we wish we could see every year if there was a play-in, but it's really not going to be like that. It's going to be more so like the East. And so, we see that LeBron goes ahead, he hits that three-pointer, and I mean, that's a dagger right there. Takes that, because to tell you the truth, man, you watch the whole game, the Warriors are winning majority of that game, So that's a dagger. They come all the way back. They win that. They hit that three-pointer, clutch three-pointer. Well, I mean, that's debatable, but I'll give it to him that it was clutch. But there was really no risk. I mean, I would have threw that 3 up.
Right. Yeah. It was a tight game. He makes it. They win. He don't make it. They go to overtime. They go to overtime with momentum. So either way, it was in a no lose situation.
Yes, correct. It's a win-win for LeBron on that situation.
Mm-hmm. But okay, so look, I want to hear your thoughts about this, about him criticizing the play-in tournament, as in LeBron James. I want to hear your thoughts on that.
Well, my thoughts on that were, it's justifiable, because this is my issue with that. Last year, I get it. It was something that we needed. You have a shortened season. obviously there are going to be some really close records as well as maybe some ties. The play-in tournament makes sense because everybody's kind of on an equal plane. But in this situation, the Warriors and the Lakers should have just been in the playoffs. They had the best record after playing 82 games. I mean, why do they have to play this play-in tournament to prove that they should be in the playoffs? And what I thought was going to happen is we have a marquee player on a team that gets cold for the last 2 games of the season, and now they're out of the playoffs after playing so hard, really defying the odds to even get in position to have the 8th spot. Now they're not even in the playoffs because they got cold for 2 games. I wouldn't even say they got cold. I would say that they had two bad situations, because you had the 3 by LeBron, and then when the Warriors play Memphis, Draymond pretty much misses a dunk to win that game. You know what I'm saying? So
if you slow it down, like I slowed down the video, he had 3 opportunities.
Yeah, man, that they should have won that.
To shoot a shot. Yeah, it was an easy 15-footer, right? I was wide open. And then he was around the 8-foot mark, still open. Turn that down for, would you call it a floater? Like,
yeah, I guess.
Was you playing for contact? What would you doing?
I don't know, man. I don't know what he was doing, man. You dunked that junk. That's what I'm saying. So it's weird. So now we have our MVP, basically. I mean, Steph Curry's got to win the MVP this year.
He won't. He
won't win it? He's got to win it.
He won't win it.
Because of these last 2 games? No. Oh, my gosh.
I get it. He deserves to. Oh, my gosh.
I mean, he's been the most dominant player all season, and technically he took a ragtag team that had 15 wins last year to 39 wins and the 8th seed in the playoffs. They should be in the playoffs right now.
But we all know that, for the awards, they go by storylines, and unfortunately, Curry don't fit the storyline.
So if he doesn't win the MVP, this stat is out the window. But I'm gonna give it to you. If Steph Curry wins the MVP this year, he will be the first MVP not to make the playoff since 1975, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar with the Lakers.
That's a long time. Yeah.
What? Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying, man. That's how ridiculous. That's how ridiculous this play-in tournament is. I hope that this is a one and done for this situation.
I need more. I need more of this.
You like it? I hate it. I hate it with a passion, man. Because I don't believe you want more, and I'm telling you why you want more. You want more because of what you saw with the West. You can't tell me you want more because of what you saw in the East.
I believe it's a combination of both, right? Like because I know back in my youngin' days of watching basketball, when it came down to the last seeds, right? They in quit mode. They didn't give up more. They're in let's play for the draft picks mode, right? This still brings the fight. Like these last teams, yeah, they suck. Yes, they have no reason to sniff the playoffs, but there's a couple of these players that's still fighting. Not just for a playoff spot, but for contracts, for playing time, for not to be cut. So if they can still get those extra playing time, it shows. I like it.
Okay. Well, I mean, that's your opinion, and that's what we want. But me, I really think it's a bunch of baloney. I think they're ruined. They just ruined the playoffs in the West for the fans, because I would rather see a playoff series. No shade on Memphis. They're a good team. Ja Morant is an up-and-coming star. But I would rather see Utah play the Warriors. I'm sorry. Any day of the week. I would rather see that series, man, because at the end of the day, I feel like Memphis is going to get swept because this young core has never been to the playoffs. They don't know how to play a series, and Utah is pretty solid in the fact that they have veterans that have been through this. And I don't even think this is going to be a challenge for Utah, but we'll see. I could be wrong. But I would have rather seen Steph Curry play Utah, and I really believe that they deserve to have that right because they had the better record. Even without this play-in tournament, they had the better record, regardless if they lose their last 2 games or not. I mean, come on. This is if the play-in tournament didn't exist, Steph Curry and Draymond Green and all the starters are resting the last 2 games. They're resting the last 2 games, and they don't even have to sweat worrying about they're getting into the playoffs. So
right, but so as a fan, those last 2 games, you want to see your star players resting?
Absolutely, because we got the playoffs in 2 games.
Man,
I have no problem with that. I have no problem with that. They play hard. They play hard.
I hate watching the game, and I see the player that I want to see in the suit, not because he's hurt, because he wants to rest. That's just not for me. I can't.
I got you, but I'm about.
I can't condone that.
I get you, but I'm about strategy, and I understand it. I understand it completely, but I get what you're saying. People that are paying to go to see these games, yeah, they want to see it. But in this situation, that really doesn't even come into play because because of COVID, there really was nobody there. So nobody's there. So what fans are we talking about? So yeah, man. But I don't really. I'm not so completely sold on the playoff. It sounds like you are, or the play-in, I should say. But I will say it was very entertaining, more so on the west side than the east side. But, I congratulate the teams that were able to take advantage of it. Memphis and Washington taking advantage of the situation. So, Boston too. So all those teams that got a chance to get in, congratulations. Now the playoffs begin. Let's see how these teams do, because ultimately that's what it's going to come down to. Are the 7th and 8th seeds, because of this play-in, going to be ready for the playoffs, or are they going to be exhausted and come out so weak that they get blown off the court by the number 1 seeds and the number 2 seeds? That's what we'll find out coming up here soon. So, man, thanks Theodore for coming on for this segment, man. I appreciate your mind on this. If you have any, anywhere people can go, any social media tags you want to throw out there?
Well, my Instagram, of course, is tdaniels1103. So hit me up, find me, follow me there if you want. I'm slowly trying to start a TikTok account, with some gaming content, some basketball content also. So just be on the lookout for that. But that's about it.
All right, man. Well, thank you for joining us on the Pro Set. We'll be right back after this short clip.
And the next generation is Ja Morant and Trae Young. And I'm looking at Ja and I'm like, what he's doing is pretty special. And I love the way he plays. I love the way he competes. And the challenge that he took on tonight against Curry, played him evenly, but Memphis defensively was just too good, I thought, for Golden State tonight, forcing, I think they forced, 22 turnovers?
20, I've got 21, but a lot of turnovers. Second straight game for the Warriors. They've had 20 or more
7
turnovers.
for Curry, and 6 for Draymond Green. The two best ball handlers that they have out on the floor handling the ball the most. Memphis turned those 2 guys over a lot, which gave them opportunities.
Yes, it did. It did, man. And if you watch those games, you saw that the Warriors seemed to be burnt out when they were playing Memphis. That game against the Lakers took a lot out of them. They were leading the entire game against the Lakers, and it came down to that last shot by LeBron James that really put the nail in the coffin for the Warriors on that 7th seed. So they go into this game against Ja Morant and the upstart Memphis rebuilt team, the Grizzlies, and man, the Grizzlies come out of the gate on fire, man. And I don't understand, what was going on with the Warriors' mindset. They were at home. You would think they would come out with more energy, knowing that this really is it. This is a one-and-done situation, but they were really flat. Steph Curry gets it going later on in the game, ends up with 39 points, played his heart out. They were tripling, double teaming him, keeping him off the ball. And the rest of the team pitched in, man. They got him into overtime, but they just ran out of gas. And Ja Morant goes down and just shows that he is the new up-and-coming star in the West. Puts in a dagger to pretty much put the game out of reach. And that's what we have here. The Memphis is in the playoffs at the AC. Ja Morant goes for 35 points. Shooting 5 of 10 from 3-point range. If anybody watches the NBA, you know that is not his game. He is a slasher. So for him to shoot 50% from 3-point was pretty incredible. But yeah, that's it, man. So that is our show today. Thank you for listening to the Pro Set, man. We see that the play-in is going to be here, at least for the next close years. We don't know. Maybe they change the rules back in the future. But I want to thank my guests, Theo, or Theodore, I should say. Theodore. I always call him Theo, but Theodore from Orlando, man. Check him out online for coming on the show. And we will be definitely have more about the NBA playoffs coming up. So definitely stick with us. Make sure you follow us on social media. You can check us out on YouTube, of course, Facebook, Instagram, all of the Twitter, LinkedIn, we're everywhere, man. So just search the Pro Set. Definitely follow us on Spotify so you get notified every time we drop a new podcast, man. I want to thank everybody for listening tonight, and we are gone.
Stephen A., what does this mean for Westbrook's reputation, what he pulled off?
Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Steph Curry and the Warriors took about 100 off of you.
Yes, he did.
And now he's celebrating.
He wanted it. Draymond will just dunk the ball. Draymond. Yeah.
Move, spins in the paint, turns, puts it up, puts it in. Ja Morant knocks it down. It's a 5-point game with 4.5 remaining.
Just great time management and poise. The crossover, the spin, and again, that nice little floater that every great guard has to have.
15 points in the fourth quarter and overtime. 35 for the game.
It's weird all the way around, but we had a good little